How old are you?
30.
How long have you been at war?
Well, if we count from the full-scale invasion, then from the beginning. At first I was a sinologist, then I was the commander of a special purpose sinologist group in another brigade. And then, quite unexpectedly, there was a personnel issue that came up, and so in 2022 I transferred over to an infantry battalion. Well, I say I went, but really, so to speak, I specifically asked to go there.
But why?
Well, I honestly had to put that uncle, the one with those big shiny stars on his shoulders, face first right into the cold, hard asphalt. It was quite a moment.
It happens to the best of us, yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, you need to communicate in your own language and through certain actions of your own.
I've heard you say it a few times and seen it when people pay you compliments. You always reply, "I'm just an ordinary infantryman." What does that mean to you?
Why I say I'm just an ordinary infantryman is because for me the infantry is more like a family. It starts from when I was in the K9 unit, then when I became a squad leader, then a platoon sergeant, a company sergeant major, a company commander, and now I'm a deputy battalion commander. To me, they are family, and, well, my infantry is my infantry. I am the infantry. I can't say that they are mine. I will do whatever I want. I belong to them, they belong to me. They can help me, I can help them. And yes, of course, I'm not made of gold, not bronze, not some, I don't know, made of granite. I also have blood, I have bones, I have wounds. I have my own opinion. Well, that is, I'm no different. Well, except for the face and all that. But otherwise, I'm created, well, somehow. Well, we are all made of flesh. Well, it's all just like that.
Those infantrymen assault troops I've spoken with, well, they all admit that before every assault, there's fear.
The hardest battle is the battle with oneself. And fear is the first enemy for me because it breeds panic and then it starts. And yes, that's how it is that, well, you can't run away from death. I have a motto. Whoever runs from death is running straight towards it. Well, running towards it. And that's just how it is. I'm not afraid of anything in life except for losing my loved ones and family. But that is also fear. And before every assault, it's there because before every single approach to a position to secure it, you understand that some of the guys might not make it, some might get wounded. They are also family and close ones. So for me, that is fear. Dying, well, you won't care anymore once you're dead. But what your loved ones will do, that's what I think about. So there is some kind of fear in that regard. Well, a person cannot not be afraid, they just can't. Well, if someone says, "I'm not afraid of anything in life at all," well then probably they need the help of a psychiatrist. Because if you're not afraid morally, mentally, psychologically and physically, then perhaps you're not alive.
Look, you and I are talking today, the day after the Charter announced control over the Kupiansk city hall. Well, and it's clear from how events unfolded that if it weren't for you, if it weren't for your team, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, you have rightly noted that it certainly wasn't just me, but the entire team, because a significant amount of resources were involved in this, physical, moral, and material resources alike. It really was a very well-planned and executed operation, and honestly, without that collective effort and the dedication of everyone involved, we simply wouldn't have been able to achieve the results that we did. A certain number of people arrived. Colombians, Brazilians, Americans, yes. Well, there were Ukrainians in our group too. They ripped us out like a link from the Central Committee. Please, Kupiansk.
How it's getting dragged in here, damn. Well, 3 fucking enemy brigades and maybe even more. First of all, this part of the story will need to be cleaned up.
Maybe it's better to skip it?
Well, we'll just let it run.
While the guys here rushed in, well, we'll burn all this with vampires, damn it. The main task here is to hold all these, you see?
Uh-huh.
The vampires, as I understand it, pass through here like this. So we will need to clear this area and block it off like this.
These 4 are going here, these ones are pulling out and also going here. And there are 4 Brazilians. It's completely closed off after all. Because if we go in here, we're not sure about these ones since they really do let them through like that. Hi. Then they'll come up from behind and hit both of them. The first 2 days we were thinking, well, that is, we were painting some kind of picture in each of our heads. But then, when the task actually started, like, get to work guys right here, it was decided to send one group. They went and returned as wounded in action. Well, as strange as it may sound, thank God, everyone is alive. The enemy knew that we would be coming from that side and we had no other side and we had to act. They also had a very difficult entry and also came out with wounded, with injured guys, and for the third time, it had to be done in a snap, in a dash. Because firstly, time was passing, and secondly, the actions and the rhythm of events in Kupiansk were not developing in our favor, because they were already in Kupiansk, no matter how that sounds. They already know the terrain too, that didn't play into our hands. Therefore, we had to act somehow. Well, the decision was made that I, Karma, and Samandra would go with the foreigners.
Was it necessary in this situation for one of the Ukrainians to lead the foreigners?
Well, for the most part, yes, because they don't understand us 99% of the time. And they saw that one group went in, the second group went in with difficulty, but they did go in and they came out with difficulty. Well, it was necessary to show that, well, we aren't sending them to the slaughter, because if a third group had gone, well, that is, they would have understood that, we are protecting the Ukrainians. Yes, that's exactly how it is, that we protect everyone. Well, that is Colombians, Brazilians, Americans too. Well, we will protect everyone at this time. They have already understood this, and they perhaps understood it earlier somewhere, but in this period I felt, well, my vision was that we needed to go. And since I was one of those commanders at that time, well, I had a little experience in certain actions, and it's better for me to do it, as I said myself, rather than sitting in an office somewhere watching from a monitor in case, God forbid, something goes wrong. It is much harder, much harder. And so we went and did it, as funny as it might sound now, but back then it wasn't very funny. Literally an hour later, we were already sitting in an armored vehicle. We drove out and went to carry out our tasks. We disembarked, the vehicle drove off. In that critical moment, I was the sole rear guard. Go. Alina was the point person because she knew the way, more or less. I was walking as the rear guard, Karma was in the middle, and everyone was monitoring their sectors. Well, we made it without any issues, and most importantly, very quietly. We arrived at the position, gathered at a certain location, and divided up again on who would go where. Alina stayed at a certain position because her task was to sit there. I went 2 or 3 Colombians and Karma as the rear guard. Then the second group of Colombians moved on their own. Well, reconnaissance helped us get to the crossing, so to speak. And from the crossing, we operated on our own. We waited it out, waited for the second subgroup, crossed the road with the first subgroup, then the second subgroup, and then, mad dogs on command under the cover of our infantry's drones. That is, my group and the second group of Colombians, we jumped into our location where we had to work further. We entered the forest, gave some of those assholes a bloody nose at the observation post, and we started digging in. That is, we made ourselves foxholes and sat there until the next morning. And in the morning, we went to sweep the area. We split up, 13 men split into 2 groups. We made a decision on who would go first, who would go second, which flank we would clear first, and which one second. We cleared 2 flanks and reached point B. At point B, we also dug in and took certain actions to monitor the enemy so they wouldn't enter or leave this location. In the first few days, we engaged in combat if they tried to get behind us. And if they approached from the front or the flanks, those who managed to reach us, those who, well, had a chance to escape our FPVs or the vampire, we would finish them off. Otherwise, we tried not to reveal that fire was being opened from this, how should I put it, specific area of our position, because if they had found out, they would have wiped us out. Well, that is, they would have started squeezing us from all flanks, from the front, from all sides, from the rear. Well, we wouldn't have been able to handle it in terms of numbers. Therefore, a decision was made then, via radio there, with the help of Stalinka, with the command, that we only engage those we see. That is, if you see the enemy, kill. If you don't see them, don't touch. If you weren't sure, there was an agreement to call in FPVs or a vampire, and they would fly in, take a closer look with Mavics, and their Mavic would correct them, and they would smash them. Well, for the first 3 days, we gave them a really hard time. On the 4th day, we already had losses, and then we got a bit tired. And on the 5th day, the decision was made to let the Colombians go, to send them home.
Well, it would have been logical for you to leave with the first subgroup. Why didn't you leave?
It was a group. We had two heroes among the Colombians. Well, at that time it was impossible to retrieve them because it would have, led to the loss of personnel. And we had a seriously wounded Colombian. And I was already wounded, lightly. I had a scratch there, I was green, I refused. I told Karma, if you want, go out, I will stay alone. I will stay with the reinforcements who came from the adjacent unit, from the adjacent brigade, and I will stay with them. Wait for the second group of assault troops. They were Brazilians, and we will complete the mission. We will return. So when the Colombians left, Karma and I had already taken up our own front line, so to speak, a defensive one, and we carried out the tasks alone for about a day and a half. We were flanking, so to speak, bypassing the center of all the action in order to meet the reinforcements, in order to meet the Brazilian assault group. And at one of those moments, we ran into a faggot right on our, we were walking along their paths so as not to leave footprints, and we met there a faggot at arm's length. His call sign is Reaper. I thank him for the radio stations, for the second radio station. We already had one of their radios, a fucking one. Thanks for the second one. Karma and I worked him over really well.
Once?
Well, Karma was walking behind, and that was very good in terms of the fact that later we realized I was walking with an AK, a trophy one, the 12th one. Well, even if it had been a regular one, it would have been the same thing. And he was walking with an RPK behind, and we met on the path. That is, our drones didn't see where he approached from, and we, didn't understand where he was from. And he was just walking along the path like that. And he caught sight of us and thought we were his own. Because we were also in multicam, and he was in multicam, and his body armor was also multicam. And he just, when we met, at arm's length, he just didn't realize. He even tried to talk to us, and we just let him get close, so to speak. I fired 3 times, and Karma fired 4 or 3 single shots, I don't remember exactly, into the torso and kind of smeared him. We took his weapon. I threw it away, I gave it to Karma. Karma took the magazine out of it and gave it back to me. We tossed it aside into the leaves. There are trees, you know. But we didn't search him because he was lying on the path, and if the enemy patrols were walking by, they would see that he had been searched, that he was, stripped of his gear or something. They would immediately realize that we were there. But this way they didn't realize we were in the woods. And we made the decision not to take anything, we only took the radios. And Karma already had his own captured radio because he had it from before. He captured it on the first day. And those assholes were looking for him over the radio, shouting like, "Come on, where are you?" And, there was swearing. I mean, they were serious guys with call signs. I can name them all. I have them all in my phone. There was one seasoned guy there like, "I'm coming over now. I'll tell you what the hell you're doing not answering the radio call." And the company commander was yelling at that guy, "Go find him." He says, "Well, his battery probably died, and Karma and I are sitting there." And I say, "Karma, what's he doing?" And Karma says, "Nah, they're just idiots, so what?" He says, "Let them look." On the 8th day in the morning, they found him. And they found him and were reporting to their commander that he probably encountered our FPV drone or some mine because he has no teeth. His eyes fell out. They didn't realize it was gunshot wounds. And that was very good because the commander told them, "Take the radio, take the weapon." He says, "Fuck, there's no weapon. It must have flown off somewhere. The strap is there, but the radio is gone." Well, that's it, come on out, from there, don't get spotted. Well, so he, wouldn't get wasted, and that's it. And they spent the whole evening, the whole evening discussing, fuck, a Ukrainian FPV drone killed this REB, fuck. And Karma and I, in short, were laughing about it, fuck. Karma says, "Well, fuck, a very wonderful, not to use swear words, a very wonderful FPV drone, we really laid it on them from 2 sides."
And was that trophy AK yours before the entry, or did you take it afterwards?
No, I've had a trophy AK, for how long now? Almost a year. The 12th one. It's gone now. I have a different one because I lost that one.
And where did you get the second one? When?
Where I got it. It's already gone. Well, during this operation. Also, coming from a total fucker, his specific call sign was actually Rovny. Well, and he won't be needing it anymore.
And the Brazilians, it turns out, came in on, the 7th day?
On the 7th or 8th, probably on the 7th. They came in very well, split up into sectors, and started working. Well, he didn't go there anymore. Karma didn't go anymore. Karma was covering our backs. The first day we didn't get into a firefight, such fierce resistance. The second day they started to get bogged down. Well, okay, screw you. The third day too. But when we started storming them from three sides, so to speak, then it got a bit tough, because a rat-cornered fights back hard. But they had a way out. They didn't close off their right flank. Well, I didn't put any allies in the fortifications there, and we didn't send our guys there, and I didn't go there myself. That is, we formed a semicircle so that they would have a chance to retreat. And two tried to retreat, two morons, they got taken out by FPV drones. Well, that is, if we had cornered them, maybe it would have been worse, because there would have been rage. But this way they were like, oh, there's a little hole, gotta get out of here. Well, that little hole played its part, that they tried to get out of there. That is, some got taken out and two tried to get out of there. When we were storming, so to speak, this nest, the Brazilians played a very big role in terms of the fact that they are a team. They throw a grenade into the dugout, suppressive fire, grenade, suppressive fire. They did that. They put up a fight.
Thunder on the line.
8,300 small shrapnel. My head, I don't know. We didn't take off our helmets because a grenade hit the helmet. The helmet is a bit dented. My leg and my left side. Well, I can't feel my side, but I can feel my leg. It's fine. Karma and I planned to stay, but higher command, as well as Samandra and Karma, said that I needed to withdraw because I was yellow. The bleeding was stopped, but, well, it could have been worse later on. I can try to get out on my own if it's necessary. If it's not necessary, I'll stay.
Well, it is necessary, it is. It's just a question of how. Because if they are being taken apart right now and...
I got smashed. With shouting and noise, I started to withdraw, and in the end, we have a Hrom who is 300 right now, very much so. Either something hit him, or he stepped on something. He ran across to the tree line, damn it, and came out of the field into the first tree line. Some say an FPV flew under his feet, and some say it was artillery. And through the pain, he got up, reached the first forest strip, the tree line, applied a tourniquet to his right leg there, and tightened it. Can we take a closer look with this drone? Fly around that bush? Is he alive there or not? The guys on the drone who were watching me, our guys, they came later. And the command said they thought I was done for, that I was a 200 KIA, because I went into that tree line and fell. It was visible that I was tightening, doing something with my hand, but that was it. Well, that is, I tightened the right one, I didn't have enough strength left for the left one, and I made the decision that I would cross the road to the other tree line, the planting, and tighten it there. Alina, Hrom, check.
Hrom, Alina is on the line.
Crawl to the road.
Hrom is on the road. He can't go any further. He doesn't feel his right leg.
Caught up with the dog. I don't feel my right leg, but I had already moved over there and started to... As soon as I started tightening, I remember this, the tourniquet on my left leg, that was it. From here on, I don't remember anything. He applied the tourniquets, gave himself aid.
Hrom, were you able to provide yourself with aid? Were you able to apply the tourniquets?
I just can't do it. I really, truly can't. Alina.
Here, I'm on the line.
Alina, I'm starting to lose consciousness.
Try to answer me on the radio if you can.
It turned out that I have two Brazilians. There was C3 in that tree line. He was waiting for me to come out. He heard over the radio that I was coming out. C3 tightened my left tourniquet. Almost 1.2 kilometers there. A little more, a little less. Limping along, I tried to walk, but he then took me on his shoulders, carried me to a certain point, and then another Brazilian, this was Manny, he carried me on his back for 5.5 kilometers. Alina.
Yes.
They are crossing the field from the tree line to...
Copy.
He is carrying the other one alone. Take some of this, damn it, you idiot, you absolute bitch. Just take it and go meet him right now.
Who is carrying? Bitch.
Probably, yes, but during the evacuation, when they were already carrying you out on a stretcher, you started singing the anthem.
Yeah, the guy said so and showed me the video, but I don't remember any of that.
Hrom.
I'm here.
Alright, you hear me, right?
I started shaking and I asked them to turn it off because I realized I had already lived through that. I understand that I'm watching it like a movie, but my body and something deep inside me gets triggered. That's why I asked them to turn it off.
Listen, I'm curious. Did those 10 days actually feel like a full 10 days to you? Or did the time just seem to pass by really quickly?
Well, right now, regarding the time I spent in the hospital, I've already checked the calendar about 10 times, and it's been 10 days. But looking at it, if I remember the dates correctly, it might not be 10, maybe more like 8 or 9 days. Well, it didn't feel like it at all. Well, there was no thought of like, fuck, getting the hell out of there as fast as possible. The thought was to survive, and the thought was to, well, cover the guys. No matter how that might sound.
Did you count how many you took out during this?
On the trail, we took out about 6 or 7 men on the first one. On the second, well, a platoon for sure. Well, if you look at it that way, then about 25 to 30 men, well, a platoon for sure. And, well, that's if we're talking about in the forest.
Uh-huh.
And if you consider the various approaches to the forest from certain sectors, including the front and the flanks, then it really requires a full company to handle. It is a challenging task, but we managed it because our FPV drone operators provided us with incredible support, which helped us out a great deal.
After all your experience, well, like, any person who watches this interview will think this guy has actually already given everything. And, like, most people would understand if you, I don't know, saved yourself or left or something else. And I know that you have a different plan.
Well, yeah, I'm not planning on being written off. I hope for that I won't be written off. I wouldn't want that, and I have no desire for it, and to remain in a combat unit. Right now it's hard lying in the hospital because, as unpleasant or harsh as it might sound to some relatives and loved ones, I'm about 70 to 75% with the guys in my thoughts, and I'm constantly talking to them on the phone, and at the first opportunity I'm always waiting for a call from them, and we have an exchange of information going on, and it's hard, it's very hard to sit here in complete peace while someone else is out there doing the hard work for you, suffering, dying, getting wounded, and enduring the horrors of conflict while you remain untouched. Although, again, these are military guys too, and you look at them and realize that 95% of them, no matter what, will return to all this action because, well, we've already become a bit like addicts because of all these events. Adrenaline or emotional addicts, perhaps. So you're right that I'm not planning on leaving anywhere. And as for what will be, it cannot be avoided. But I don't agree about everything. Maybe just a small part of it, more likely. And the memory will stay for a lifetime. You know, they say scars make a man, and here everyone has their own story. You look at a scar and replay it in your head. Damn, good thing I didn't go there. But on the other hand, well, what if I hadn't gone there? What would have happened? That's a very good reason to think about things, especially in the evenings. That's how it is. I don't know what else to tell you, honestly.